Hello and welcome to our third tutorial, Endeavour Woodcrafts woodwork. This session is going to be about making a bird table. This bird table is going to be in two sessions. The first session to make the frame and the legs up, which when it's complete would look something similar to this. And then the second session would be to do the bird table and the roof as well. So for this project we need tools wise, it's very simple this one. We need a screwdriver, a bradawl, glue, wet rag, filler and sandpaper. 14 40mm screws and one 70mm screw. So what we do when we open our packs, we have 4 braces for the table itself. We have the brace for the bottom, what the legs fit to. We have the leg, and we have the 4 braces that come off the leg to make this sort of construction. Yep. So our first job is to make this piece, the brace for the legs first, which is these two. So what we do when we put these together, we have a look and we have 2 locating lines to join them together, and then when we turn around we should have A, B, C and D in a clockwise fashion. Yep. So our first job is to run a bit of glue in the joint. Open the top first. Glue in there, and then we sit the top piece in there, and it's the 2 outside screws. Can you see those 2? Those 2 outside ones we join with the 40mm screws, and that joins the bottom brace together. Second one. There we are, and if there's any bit of glue to wipe off, we do it as we go. So the next stage, if we have a look, we can see a number 1, and what we do is we find the leg and we look for number 1. So that piece there joins to there, lining the 2 numbers up. And what we use for that one is the 70mm screw, the long one. So we get that one started. If you have a workbench, or if you can get hold of a workmate, that would be beneficial, but I'll show you how to do this without, just in case anybody can't get hold of one. So we just put a bit of glue over the joint, and then we line up. Do you want to come round and I'll show you? We have a little pilot hole there, and we line up that screw to the pilot hole. And we screw that in, so that's just a little bit tight, so just got a little bit of movement so we can alter the other pieces to suit. So we've got that one in and we're happy with that. So we look for the legs and we find A to A, and there's a locating line there. So what we do is we put that onto there, and then that should line up A to A on the bottom piece as well. So before we think about putting the screws in, we put some glue where the joint is. Again, 40mm screws, and we start here on the leg itself. Now it's very important when we put this one together, we don't over tighten this one, because what we'll find is the piece itself will just draw down. So we just leave that one slightly off, not too tight, and then we come round and we start the other piece. We tighten that one in. Now if that's in position, we can fully tighten it. And then we can come back to the first one and tighten that one in. That's lovely. So we turn it clockwise, anti-clockwise, sorry, and we find B. Same procedure. The line of glue. We've got the locating line, so we can't go any further down. And if you're not sure if you're in the right place, we can use the bradawl just to make sure that we're in. Yep, that's perfect. 40mm screws. Again, not over tighten it, and then come back to the location underneath. And come back and tighten that one. And we'll work our way right around to C. Always glue the joints, they last a lot longer with a bit of glue on. Polymer screws. Just off tight, and then come to the bottom one. All nice and neat there, and when we come back to the top, make sure that's in. And last leg, D. 40mm screws. Leave it just off tight, so we've got the right position for the bottom brace. So at this point we can make sure all the legs are in, make sure all the screws are nice and tight, especially that first one goes into there. They're all fully tight. That's lovely. And that is that's what we have there. So what we do is we wipe the glue off, any bits of excess glue. Okay, and then all we do is we tip it, look for air, and then we have exactly the same for the top braces. These pieces actually hold the table on, so they would fit on just like that. Again, we put a line of glue. We'll start with here, 40mm screw. We'll line up to the locating line. Just a little nip, we don't need to over tighten them. And then we turn and look for B. B, B. That one will sit there. So before we put the screw in, we get some glue round. 40mm screw. It's important to keep them on the locating lines. Yep, nice there. Again, C, C. $40mm screw. And then last one, D. It can be tricky, but it's always nice to work on a flat surface. Again, if you can get hold of a workmate, it'll be easier. But I'm sure we'll get over it. And then that one pulls in there. And there's just one check to do. If you have a ruler or anything straight, what we need to do is just double check that these pieces are all in line with the top piece, so that the table will sit nice and flat. So if we have something like a ruler, and just sit it on the top there, so you can see that's nice and straight. And then we try it that way as well. Yeah, so that looks okay, that looks neat. And then, as we say, if we take all the excess glue off, get your filler in the screw holes, fill those in, give it a sand off nice and smooth, and this could actually be painted before the next stage. Okay, thank you very much.